Jake stumbled upon the rusted shell of an abandoned Mustang, its once proud exterior now nearly hidden by the relentless embrace of nature. Intrigued by the mystery it presented, Jake cautiously approached, peering through the dirty glass. His heart pounded as he took in the haunting scene inside, a collection of suitcases, some slashed open with their contents spilling out. Among the scattered belongings were children's clothes and toys, mingled with adult possessions, hinting at a family that had once traveled in this vehicle. The keys were still in the ignition, and a woman's purse sat on the passenger seat, suggesting a hasty departure. An unsettling feeling washed over Jake, prompting him to wonder about the fate of the family that had seemingly vanished. Driven by curiosity, he opened the passenger door. As he rifled through the woman's purse, Jake found a wallet containing several credit cards, each bearing a different name. His heart skipped a beat when he stumbled upon a baby photo that bore an uncanny resemblance to his own infant pictures. Carefully, he returned the photo to the wallet but kept it out of the purse, feeling compelled to investigate further. But before we start our story, smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The baby picture had stirred something deep within him, a connection he couldn't ignore, even though his parents were alive and well. He pocketed the wallet and turned his attention to the suitcases in the back seat, hoping they might hold the answers he sought. The clothing inside the suitcases was outdated, with brands that had been popular about 30 years ago. As he picked up an old shirt, a small agenda slipped out and fell to the floor. Jake retrieved it and began flipping through its pages, finding a list of birthdays and appointments. One entry in particular caught his eye: family vacation for Tom's birthday, with a location that struck a chord: his hometown. Realizing the car had likely been headed there before ending up abandoned in the woods, Jake knew it was time to involve the authorities. He left the suitcases on the ground, returned the wallet to the purse, but pocketed the baby picture once more. At the police station, Jake hesitated as he tried to explain his discovery to the officer on duty. "Hi, I'm here to report, I found an abandoned car," he began awkwardly, struggling to articulate the magnitude of what he'd uncovered. Fortunately, the mention of an abandoned vehicle was enough to raise suspicion, prompting the officer to ask for the location and assure Jake that they would investigate. As he left the station, his adrenaline still coursed through him, and he hurried home to process everything. Jake decided to visit his parents, hoping they could help ease his unease. As he pulled into his parents' driveway, he braced himself for the conversation ahead. Jake recounted the eerie scene to his parents, his words tumbling out in a rush. A strange tension filled the room, an unspoken sense of something ominous lurking beneath the surface. He handed his parents the baby picture, watching closely for their reactions. "Have you seen this before?" he asked, his voice tinged with urgency. His mother took it cautiously, her eyes scanning the photo, while his father leaned in for a closer look. The silence that followed only deepened his anxiety. He caught a brief flicker of recognition in his mother's eyes, confirming his suspicions. "Mom, do you know something about this?" Jake pressed. She quickly looked away, her face reverting to a neutral mask. Jake's curiosity about the baby picture was met with evasiveness from his mother and silence from his father, which only fueled his determination to uncover the truth. That night, he searched through old family albums, comparing the baby picture to his own childhood photos and noticing an undeniable resemblance. This discovery left him with more questions, particularly about the family and the Mustang he had found. Determined to solve the mystery, Jake went to the local library the next day to search for records of missing families from 30 years ago. After hours of sifting through old newspapers, he found an article about a family that vanished during a vacation trip, last seen in a Mustang similar to the one he had discovered. The article's details matched the location and the credit cards he found, confirming his worst fears that the woman in the Mustang was the missing mother. The next morning, Jake received a call from Detective Harris, who wanted to discuss Jake's findings. At the police station, Harris showed Jake a folder containing photographs and papers related to the case. One photograph depicted a family with a baby, The same baby from the wallet photo, cradled by a woman with a hauntingly familiar face. The man beside her had a warm smile, and their appearance stirred a deep, inexplicable connection within Jake. As he studied the photo, a sense of déjà vu grew stronger, leaving him unsettled and on the brink of a revelation he couldn't quite grasp. Despite his efforts, Jake couldn't identify the people in the image, admitting his confusion and frustration. Harris, though serious, reassured Jake that sometimes these things take time. The mystery of the abandoned Mustang and the missing family weighed heavily on Jake's mind as he left the station, each clue pulling him deeper into its enigmatic grip. He resolved to push forward, determined to find answers, no matter how unsettling or life-changing the truth might be. That night, Jake lay awake, consumed by thoughts of the family and the Mustang. Sleep eluded him as vivid images of the baby's picture, the smiling family, and the hidden car replayed in his mind. Jake's heart raced with anticipation and anxiety as he sifted through old boxes in his parents' attic, each item a potential clue. Dusty photo albums, old letters, and forgotten mementos filled the boxes, each a fragment of a life he thought he knew. His flashlight flickered as he worked, illuminating forgotten memories. With every object he uncovered, his determination grew stronger. He was certain the answers lay within these forgotten treasures. The past was calling, and Jake knew it was only a matter of time before the truth revealed itself. He meticulously combed through old family documents and photo albums, each piece of memorabilia telling a story, but none offering the answers he needed. The attic felt like a vault of untold truths, yet the secrets he sought remained elusive. But Jake's resolve didn't waver. He continued his search, knowing deep down that the key to the mystery was hidden somewhere in these relics. Jake's fingers trembled as he unfolded a brittle document. It was a birth certificate, and the details matched the mystery he had been unraveling. The name on the certificate matched the baby in the photograph from the abandoned Mustang. His pulse quickened as he realized what this meant. This document could be the key to solving everything. The connection between the family, the baby, and the mystery in the woods was undeniable. Jake's hand shook as he scanned the adoption papers, struggling to process the reality before him. The dates matched his birth, and the signatures confirmed what seemed impossible. He had always believed his parents were his biological ones, but now this document revealed a truth he had never imagined. The photograph of him as a baby, tucked between the papers, only deepened the confusion. It was clear that this family, whoever they were, had once been a part of his life. He couldn't understand how his parents had kept this secret for so long, or why they had hidden the truth in such an obscure corner of their home. The answers he had been searching for were now more complex, and the mystery was more personal than ever. Jake was overwhelmed by emotions as he looked at the adoption papers, feeling confused and betrayed. He had always thought his parents were his biological family, and now his understanding of his past was shattered. Despite his urge to confront his parents, he realized he needed to find out about his biological family and why they had disappeared. The adoption papers only intensified his confusion and urgency. He questioned who his biological parents were, why they had given him up, and how an abandoned Mustang and missing family were connected to his past. This quest for answers became a personal journey to understand his true identity and origins. His parents eventually revealed the truth. His mother, with tears in her eyes, explained they were close to his biological parents. When they disappeared, his adoptive parents didn't know what to do. They adopted him, believing it was the best for him. They loved him deeply and had always hoped his biological parents would return. The revelation stirred both gratitude and sadness in Jake, but the mystery of his origins felt more urgent. His parents gave him the name of the orphanage where he had briefly stayed, St. Mary's. Holding the address, Jake felt determined to uncover more. The drive gave him time to reflect on everything he had learned. When he arrived, the orphanage's worn exterior hinted at long-buried stories. Mrs. Thompson, the caretaker, greeted him and led him to a room with boxes containing items found with him as a baby. Jake opened a box and found objects from his infancy. A small, torn teddy bear stirred memories of comfort. Among the items was a note from his biological mother, promising they would return. It was filled with love and hope, reinforcing the bond he felt with his missing parents. He thanked Mrs. Thompson, who then handed him a faded newspaper clipping about a couple's mysterious disappearance during a family vacation. The grainy photo beneath the headline caught his eye. As he scanned the article, a chill ran through him. It detailed the sudden disappearance of a couple who had left behind a baby boy. He recognized their faces immediately, his biological parents. The article was a turning point. Emotions rushed over him, shock, sadness, and a renewed drive for answers. Even more startling was a picture of the same Mustang he had discovered. The car was no longer just a coincidence, it was directly linked to his past. Mrs. Thompson gently explained he had been adopted shortly after the incident. His parents had vanished, and he had been found alone in the woods. Authorities searched for them, but they were never located. The weight of this truth settled heavily on Jake. Leaving the orphanage with the teddy bear and note, he felt the loss more deeply than ever. Every step to his car was heavy. As he drove away, his thoughts were consumed by the revelations. Though he had learned so much, the story remained incomplete. He returned to the Mustang, now more than a relic. It was a symbol of the life he never knew. Running his hand along the rusted surface, he imagined the dreams his parents had for him. Sitting inside, he felt the depth of their absence. This car was his only physical link to them, and it strengthened his resolve.